Riven of a Thousand Voices is one of the most iconic raid bosses in the history of the Destiny franchise, but ironically enough, most players in the game have never even completed this encounter in the way that Bungie intended, with most people using a cheese area to allow you to get all 6 players together for an easy one phase. But with Riven now being added to the new Pantheon activity, will players have enough damage at contest difficulty to one phase her? Well, in this video I'll be going over how to clear this Wish Dragon the legit way in 2024, just in case y'all need a refresher. This encounter starts the same way as you normally would, with each player standing on a designated plate and dropping down below. Both sides will then head to the room on their direct left, splitting yourselves into 2 groups of 3 in the process. At this point, you'll begin clearing the adds until Riven pops out on one of the 2 sides. For the team that gets Riven first, congrats, you are on stun duty. Riven has 2 attacks you must avoid in order to stun her properly. First will involve her waving her tentacles up in the air. Have one player stand underneath the tentacle until it starts glowing in order to bait the slam. Once she digs her claw into the ground, dump your special weapon into her in order for it to stun. The second possible attack is a fire breath that you'll need to avoid, and simply shoot into her mouth afterwards in order to stun her. Once she's stunned, she will flinch back for a second, and at this point 2 of her 10 eyes will begin to glow. Make sure to call out these 2 eyes in order to relay that information to the other team. This is also the point in the encounter that Riven will jump over to the other team. Now team 2 is the DPS crew for this round. Once Riven pops out, it'll be a similar damage phase to the one that you're used to if you've ever done the cheese strat. Just pop a well and lay your best damage rotation into her mouth. However, if she is able to close her mouth entirely, it's a team wipe. So before she fully closes, you'll need to pop her 2 eyes that were called out, which will stun her again and send her upstairs for the next round. Scout rifles work really well here, however, I would recommend every player just equip a sniper instead to make one-shotting the eyes a lot more consistent. Now there's one more element to this area, and it involves the Eye of Riven, which will spawn and drop its taken orb for pickup. Picking it up will allow you to cleanse on the steps in front of you. This player will also see a symbol on the tower in front of them. One of the other 2 players will need to hop on top of that platform and look out onto the steps, coaching the taken player on where to cleanse. There are 2 possible patterns the steps can be, so please be specific when directing your teammates on where to go. I also like to put my back up against the tower so myself and the call out player are both oriented the same way, so when they tell me to go left, I know that we're both going left here. Once both sides are cleansed, run to the back of the room to take the lift up to the next level, where Riven will be waiting there for the DPS team. Floor 2 is going to be the inverse of floor 1. DPS team is now the stun team and vice versa. So stun Riven, call out the eyes, damage the boss, shoot her eyes, cleanse the symbols. I will note that there is a cooldown on the Eye of Riven debuff as well, so your read player and your cleanse player on both sides will need to switch jobs, so make sure you guys are on top of that as well. Once both sides are cleansed again, grab the lift in the middle of the stairs to take it up to the starting room. Now in this opening area you'll notice there are several spots for Riven to pop out of, but the mechanics haven't changed much here. Once she emerges, simply follow the correct stun mechanic, making note once again of which 2 eyes are glowing each time. She'll do this 3 times for a total of 6 eyes, with the 4th time she pops out being the damage phase. Now all 6 eyes need to be shot here in order to prevent a wipe, so assigning a player to each set of 2 tends to work out best in my experience. Now at this point on normal difficulty, we usually have enough damage in order to get to final stand, but in the event that you don't, especially on contest difficulty, you're going to want to get back on your plates and drop down to do it all over again. At this point, Riven will also have a bunch of little bubbles all over her body, which you can shoot to do even more damage to her while you're falling. Once you have enough damage to force final stand, you'll be transported to the Taken Realm, where one player will need to hop through the Taken Orb at the top. If you have some people on your team who are not particularly good at platforming, there's nothing wrong with leaving them downstairs in order to save the res tokens. Once everyone's teleported back to the real world, wait for Riven to pop out and burn down the last bit of her health. Once she's defeated, don't forget to run down her throat and destroy her heart as well. Once the heart has been destroyed, congratulations, you have officially cleared Riven Legit.